Hey Reefers, welcome back to another video from Reef Drama. Today we're going to be having a little look at what goes on behind the fish tank. Now mostly we're talking wires, we're talking plugs, we're talking four-way sockets, we're talking all sorts of things. Now is it a safety issue? Most definitely. What we don't want is any water to be either splashed out of the tank or for your sump to overflow and then obviously go all over the sockets and the power and everything else that's behind the tank. So we want to make sure that it's as safe as possible and it looks as tidy as possible, even though you can't always see it. So we're going to address that in this video right here, right now. Let's see what I've bought, let's see how we do it, and you're definitely not going to want to miss it. See you in a minute. All right then, so just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, if we just come behind this cabinet, I've got a few bits down here. That four-way socket is going to get screwed and attached to the back of this cabinet, so that will be that out the way. But this is what I'm talking about. Now look at that. That is just, well, a mess. You know, a couple of four-ways down there. One of them is smart. We've got wires going all the way up to the very end. I just can't get the camera in really close enough for you guys to see, but trust me when I say it's a mess and it's not good. And I'm sure there are probably quite a few people out there in the same situation. So that's what we're going to be basically sorting out, getting all the plug sockets, getting all the wiring off the floor. The idea is if any of the fish splash, you know, off the back of the tank, and the water's going to then run down the back. In my case, it's going to run either straight down the wall if they splash hard enough, or it's going to run down the back of the cabinet itself, and then it's just going to go all over, obviously, the four-way sockets. And you know, as you know, electric and water definitely don't mix. So that's what we're going to be sorting out. So let's get on with it. All right then guys, so as you can see, what I've bought is a cable tray, 60 centimeters. Now I had to go for that size because of the spacing between the Evolution Aqua light bracket that I've got fitted to the back of the tank. Originally wanted like a meter, but once I measured and realised where the bracket uprights were, that was obviously no longer going to be the case. So let's get this out, let's have a quick look at this. So nice little metal tray, and that will very nicely fix onto the back of the tank, or the back of the cabinet I should say, and house the four-way sockets that we've got. We've got the brackets in here. Now these are purchased for and under the desk, I suppose, under a desktop. You know, so these are obviously going to fit onto here. And then normally what you would do is you would fix this to the underside of your computer desk, whatever it might be, and clip the basket into here. What I'm going to actually do, thankfully there's already holes on the back of it, is this is what's going to be fixed onto the rear of the cabinet itself. So I'll drill the holes through the back of the cabinet, put the bolts through, a couple of little washers, a couple of nuts, and bolt that onto the back of the cabinet, and then the basket then will be able to clip onto that. So it doesn't have to be used from above. If you are going to buy one of these, this came from Amazon, they do different sizes, but if you are going to get one of these, make sure that it has the ability to be able to be fixed onto the back of something and not just on the underneath of something. Okay, so that's it. Just, well, a very, very quick unboxing. Even comes with some screws, although I won't be using those because I'll be bolting it. But yeah, so let's basically start getting it onto the back of the cabinet and stripping all the wires out and fitting it all back on again. All right then, so first things first, let's move a few things out of the way. Luckily, we can just slide this out the way. there for the time being. As I mentioned, that 4-way, that's going to be on the back of that cabinet, so don't have to worry about that for the moment. So leave that there. These are the inserts for my lid, so keep them somewhere safe. Obviously have had splashing in the past, so you know it's all down the wall, or it has been down the wall, all down the back of the cabinet. I'm really surprised that that those power sockets are still working down there, but this is what we're here to do today. We're going to sort this out. So next thing is basically to shut everything down that's on those 4-ways and try and sort out all the wiring, work out where the holes are going to be in the back of the cabinet, so that I fitted this already. So with regards to this, you've got an end cap, so here's the other end cap that will basically, it just gets pushed on the end. So you've got a couple of end caps, and then I've already fitted the clip these on. These just kind of clip onto the bars. So on the back of the cabinet, basically down about here somewhere, I'm going to drill holes through the back of the cabinet and then line up with these holes and put the bolts on, and that will sit probably somewhere around about there. And then the 2 4-way power sockets will be probably wire tied to that, and then I'll try and hook up all the wiring as neat as I can as well. And then I'm also going to look then at seeing if I can get some sort of almost like a roof for it, so if the water does come down from the top, it kind of doesn't go straight on the top of this, because you know all I've done is moved it from the floor then up to here, right? And it's not really kind of done what I wanted it to do. But if I can sort of manufacture a bit of a roof over the top, then that will then keep it all nice and dry. But you know, nice and cheap. I can't remember how much this was, but I'll overlay it on the video. And as I say, Amazon, they do these in different lengths. I'm going to start shutting everything down at the moment. Turn off skimmer. Turn off auto top up. I'm going to start pulling some of these out. Okay, so that's all the lights, skimmer, and the 2 4-ways out. The wiring for the lights. The skimmer plug is still behind, it's not quite long enough, but so, okay, well what I'll do is I'll pop out to the garage, get the tools. Not sure how well you're going to be able to see, but there is already a hole just here, just underneath this green Eheim hose, and then I'm going to have to obviously measure the distance that I need, and I'm going to try and get it through this little section here between these 2 pipes, and then that's going to get lined up with that other hole that's already there. So let's see how we go drilling that. Right, so holes are drilled. We've got the bolts, put them in. Push them all the way through. I've got a little washer on the end, and I've got another washer and the nut obviously to go on that end. Now get the basket on the back. All right, let's give you a quick little view of what's going on. So we've got the, I can point it out, the one little nut and bolt there, and the other one is just there. So that's nice and neat. And then having a quick look around the back, we've got the bracket now in place with all the wires just kind of hanging over the top really, and just sort of a bit of a mess down there. So, but the actual bracket is there, fitted on the back, just about fits in. What I'm going to do now is kind of tidy up all the wires and get the 4-ways up there, get the plugs all marked up, and then get it all up and running again. Let's have a quick look around the back of the tank. And there we go. Look at that. Really pleased with that. So we've got the 2 4-ways. We've got all the plugs marked up. It's all set on the bracket. The wires down behind. Drip loops as and where is required. So you've got a drip loop on that one down there. So if water does actually run down, it won't go into the plug. And the next thing to do would be to sort of put a little cover over the top of that. But yeah, really pleased with that, really happy. The rest of the wiring obviously is all behind the other cabinet, which is over here. And this is the one where I've got all the control panels and stuff in there. So, you know, the rest of the wiring, the 10-way socket, that's all behind that one, but it's out the way far enough so that it doesn't really, you know, kind of get worried with any water or splashing of water. So yeah, a good job done. Took a couple of hours to get that done. Bit fiddly. Well, no, really fiddly to get that bracket round the back, hanging on the back of the cabinet itself, especially when you're on your own, trying to sort of feed it onto the bolts without knocking them into the sump. But yeah, luckily managed to do it. Bit of tape over the end of the bolt, held it in place, put the bracket onto it. I reckon that's a good job done. And you know, if it kind of gets some of you guys out there thinking about doing the same sort of thing behind the back of your tank, making it safer for electrics and water, etc., and getting it off the floor, then, you know, I've done a good job, I think. Right, let's pack up, clean up before the wife gets home. Well, there you have it. That's the end of another video. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Hope that's been of some use to, you know, some people out there. The basket was 11.5 centimeters wide, and it literally just fitted in. So obviously make sure that you do your measurements, and hopefully you'll be able to do the same sort of thing. But, you know, didn't move the tank, obviously, can't because it's full, but still managed to get that tray, that basket, whatever you want to call it, at the back. Get the sockets up on there, get all the wiring done, get it off the floor, that's the main thing. And yeah, a lot better. And I also did this socket as well behind here, that 4-way up on the back of this cabinet, so that's all done as well. So happy with that. So if you've enjoyed the video, then give us a thumbs up, and thanks very much for watching. Thanks for staying to the end, and I will see you next week on the next video. Bye for now.
Easy come, easy go.